So it's day 4 here. The weather hasn't been that great this week. We had a lot of rain, a lot of setbacks, and now you can see behind me right here is a jackhammer. It's hammer time today. Unfortunately, we hit ledge rock and we gotta go get at it. I got the Kubota here with the hammer, the Bobcat with the bucket, and hopefully we can bust this ledge away. So we just pulled up the project here and we're unloading the enclosed trailer and getting ready to start. I'm with my teammates, Aaron and Raphael. Good morning, Ralph.
Good morning.
Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning.
So it's probably warmed up to about 28 degrees now and the sun is shining, which is really great. The delivery of rock came early. We got 2 loads of some beautiful boulders, like this big flat one here with all the moss, branches from a pine tree. I'm sure in the spring stuff will start growing in there, all different shapes and sizes, some 5, almost 5.5 foot long. I really like this one over here by the skid steer. That's a really cool rock. If it's laid down flat, has really nice character. I don't even want to scratch it with the excavator, so we're gonna move that with the forks on the machine. We have a larger machine once again on this project due to the reach factor, and we're able to place the boulders where need be as construction goes on. So myself and Raphael are gonna head into the backyard. We're gonna start doing some elevations with the transit while Aaron continues cleaning the pathway. One of the obstacles we have here is we have a propane tank and the line hasn't been buried to the house yet. So temporarily, we're gonna have to actually hang it up in the air so we can cross with the skid steer safely. That's one of the obstacles that we encountered this morning pulling into the job site. As you round the house's corner, the backyard is a pure blank slate. They're waiting for us and my team from Garden State Koi to come here and design a beautiful pond. This is the second pond that we'll be designing for the homeowner. We built one about 6 to 8 years ago, and they loved it so much when they moved into the new house here, they wanted us to be the first one in the backyard. So Ralph is here with the laser transit, and he's gonna be setting that up. And we're gonna be putting it right over there so it's out of the way of the excavator when that gets back here. We painted some lines a while ago with the homeowner, and the pond's going roughly right in this area here with a wetland up top. The idea is that where I'm standing is gonna be a deck coming out of the house, and where Raphael is over there, we're gonna have a staircase going up that way. That is an extra add-on to the pond. A couple of stairs, and that's going to lead up to an upper patio area where they can have a fire pit right next to that wetland. It'll be really neat, great area to hang out. One thing that's cool is we'll have another waterfall up there dropping into the wetland, and as that wetland twists, we'll have another hidden waterfall over there that you'll be able to see from that patio area. Another important part to this project is the views from these windows here. These are actually 2 big sliding doors, and that is a dining room area and a living room area. And then up top up there is the master bedroom balcony. As we build the project and we start placing boulders in the waterfall, we're gonna wanna make sure that you can see it from all over in there, but I don't think that's gonna be really hard to achieve. Another thing that's gonna be really important when planning this project is the grade coming out of the house. Raphael just set the transit stick, so we have 4 steps coming out of the house, which would be a drop of about 28 inches, 7 inches per step. What we're looking to do is take that height on the house with the laser transit and find out where it is over there in the distance. So when the stick beeps like this, we know that we're at almost perfect level. A solid beep is perfect, but it keeps changing between the high and low beep, so we know we're pretty close, and right now we're just trying to find rough grade. Once we get the excavator through the first obstacle, it won't be too bad with the skid steer. I think that's good for the skid steer. So the excavation on the project has been a little rough. We actually hit some ledge rock, so we shaped as much of the pond out as possible, and we're gonna actually be coming in with a jackhammer. Tomorrow it's gonna rain all day, so we're gonna have to hold off. We'll come back here on Wednesday, start jackhammering and moving the ledge rock out of the hole. In the distance over there, we got the area dug for where the intake bay is gonna go. And we actually have the right height for the weir right there, which is about 16 inches down. That'll give us about 1 foot of water flow into the aqua blocks. And then in front down here, we have an area dug out. That is roughly about 2 foot deep. We still need to go down about another foot in that area, but we're starting to hit some rocks, so we're gonna have to hammer a little bit of that away. And then the main hammering is gonna be right in front of me here. This big section here is a nice piece of ledge sticking out in the mountain, and the top is the edge of the pond, and down below is where we have to dig. We gotta go down almost about 2 feet of ledge to clear that out to get the pond in here. I was saying the pond's gonna be slightly raised, and you can see it is. Raphael is up on the berm of the pond right now, and that elevation there comes straight across to the house, and that'll allow the homeowner, after we leave here, to have 4 steps There's gonna be 2 steps coming down to a deck area, and then another 2 steps down to a larger deck, which will meet right up to the edge of the pond here. You gonna bring us our coffees? So this is our coffee delivery guy when it's cold. Aaron, thank you for running out and grabbing coffee, buddy. So right now we're digging out the wetland area up on top of the hill from the pond, and the guys are making sure the snorkel and centipede will fit down below. Due to the rocky soil and shale, we're gonna fill the bottom in with sand and then dig the trench out for that centipede in the sand. To me, it's a lot easier sometimes. The other way you can do it is also backfill around that centipede there with some cobble. Total excavation on the wetland area is roughly around 4 feet. We're gonna do 3 lifts of 3 different size rock and gravel. Each lift will be 8 inches, but we have plenty of work to do before we get to that point of the wetland. We got the liner in the wetland hole, but tomorrow, if we get here before the rain, we're gonna have to pull this liner back out and then dig where that centipede and snorkel goes. Unfortunately, with the daylight savings time, it is only around 4:45, but the sun is setting, once again getting cold out here, and we're ready to go home for the evening. We still have to tarp this whole area here before we go, put the machines away, and hit the road. So it's day 2 here, and we're back at the job site, and we're ready to try to get this wetland in, but we do have rain coming. Yesterday, we were lucky enough to get the tarps out and the liner up in the wetland hole, so everything, if it rained last night, would be pretty dry. We still have a couple hours left this morning before the rain comes in, it looks like, so we're gonna get at digging the centipede and snorkel in there. Also putting the cobble, hopefully the 2 to 3 inch gravel, and the rest of the 3/4 gravel on top. If we can get that done today before the rain, we'll be in great position for when the rain clears. So yesterday we worked on getting this hole dug out for this wetland, and then we actually filled it back in with sand where the centipede and snorkel will go. Raphael was just leveling out the sand on the bottom, and now he's gonna place the snorkel and the centipede on a diagonal through here because we want our hose to go out over there. The reason for that is our pumps are going to be down over in this area, and it'll be a shorter run for the pumps and a way easier entrance into the wetland. So the snorkel will go over here and the centipede will lay on an angle across. We'll mark that out with spray paint and then we'll dig it out. So while I was out going to get cobble for the wetland, the guys worked very hard on getting the snorkel and centipede in, and they're finishing up building the aqua blocks for the bottom of the wetland. After the aqua blocks go in, we'll be able to start putting cobbles around the outside areas of the aqua block to fill the negative voids, as well as if we need anything around the snorkel or centipede. The snorkel and centipede sit in the wetland like this. That is the clean out shaft there for the wetland, as well as where the water comes in and starts the upflow. The end over there is where the plumbing will attach and go down in. And this is actually the snorkel. You take the lid off and that's how you access the clean out area for the wetland. So the aqua blocks sit in the bottom like that, making sure they sit one on each side of the centipede. Below the centipede, we also put some cobble, and around the snorkel, we put some cobble to sturdy everything up and prevent any of the soil from collapsing over time. Good morning, everyone. It is day 3 here. We had a lot of rain come in, but we were able to tarp everything. So this area was all tarped here, and this is where the pond's gonna be going in. The soil is nice and dry, but our hill is a little muddy. So our plan is to take some of this drier material and put it on this hill so we were able to get up here with the skid steer. The wetland is filled with the second layer of aggregate. First one was some cobble on top of the aqua block, but now we have this 2 to 3 inch gravel. And now the final layer will be a layer of 3-inch riverstone. So Aaron just put the extension on the snorkel and he's using it as a drum. And then up behind him over there, right where Raphael is, there's gonna be a 2500 biofall. We're gonna split a 9 PL pump, so some of the water is gonna come out of that biofall down into the wetland, and the rest of the water from that 9 PL will percolate up. The plan is to kind of make this look like a holding pool inside the stream, so it's a waterfall, a holding pool in the stream, and then from here, it'll exit out and head down to the pond area down below. So we're getting ready to start the waterfall that's gonna drop into the upper wetland area. The first waterfall boulder is going up above into the wetland holding pool area. That's our left side frame boulder. It's gonna sit there behind the snorkel, and we're gonna actually place a rock here in front of the snorkel. I'm gonna have to cut that snorkel down right at that line, but what that's gonna do is act as a nice frame for our waterfall that's gonna be going in here. We'll be adding a spillway and a 2500 biofall hooked up on 2 separate pumps. The plumbing's gonna be a little tricky, but when you turn that second pump on, this waterfall is gonna really be raging from top to bottom. So it's day 4 here. The weather hasn't been that great this week. We had a lot of rain, a lot of setbacks, and now you can see behind me right here is a jackhammer. It's hammer time today. Unfortunately, we hit ledge rock and we gotta go get at it. I got the Kubota here with the hammer, the Bobcat with the bucket, and hopefully we can bust this ledge away. So right now I'm inside the excavator and I'm bailing out the soil that we put in the hole the other day to keep the hole filling up from rainwater. And Aaron's in the distance and he's hammering with the little Kubota over there. Thank gosh some of that shale was breaking up nicely. I'm inside because it's really noisy out there, so I have all the windows closed in here. I'm about to turn my music on, get digging, while Aaron keeps breaking up stone. Hey Aaron, how's it going? He really can't hear me because he has ear protection in. So that's really important when you're running a jackhammer to have some ear protection in your ears. The stone is actually breaking up, and that is where the intake bay is gonna go. Right in front of me here is the weir that we put in, and that weir is about 16 inches down from grade. That's gonna be the intake area into that intake bay. 2 9PLs will be back there, and then right now I am clearing out all the soil in front of me. Right in this area over here, there's some more rock and ledge we have to bust away. So it's mighty noisy out here. I have my ear protection off my ears right now, but thank gosh we're able to bust away that rock. Sometimes the jackhammer won't allow you to bust the rock up. The shale is breaking up very easily. So we have some leftover sand material and we need to move it to continue digging and jackhammering the pond. And instead of just moving it somewhere and not needing it, we actually got the intake bay area all jackhammered out. Aaron spent a good part of this morning on that. We have a piece of fabric in there, and that fabric is to keep the sand and the rubble debris that looks like that separate. We don't want that rising up through the sand. So we're gonna fill that area in with sand, probably about 4 inches, and that'll bring us to the right height when we put the liner in for our aqua blocks to sit behind our weir for our intake bay area. So we're day 5 here, it's Friday. We had a little mishaps this week with some weather, some jackhammering, so we're a little behind on the project, but that's all right. We're gonna keep moving on. We got 2 weeks till the Christmas holiday. Looks like we might have some snow arriving on Monday, but while I was gone returning the jackhammer last night, and then earlier this morning when the guys got here, they spread out all the sand on the bottom of the pond. We're ready to rock and roll. Prepping underneath the liner here was very important. There's a lot of rock and debris that could puncture a hole in the liner. So we put a thin layer of sand roughly about 2 inches across the bottom of the pond. That area over there is about 1 foot deep. This area right here is about 30 inches deep of water. Aaron's taking the tamper to tamp down the sand so it's not squishy, because later on when we go to set the rocks, we want a firm surface, but nice and soft and even. So the underliner fabric is in place. It was 2 sheets of 15 by 50 that we have in here. And then it's gonna take a 30 by 50 liner to cover from pond end to pond end, including that intake bay over there. We'll be using another section of liner to connect the upper wetland that we finished earlier in the week, and that'll be the waterfall coming down into the pond here. With the intake bay in the distance, aeration in the middle, and a waterfall over here, this thing will have perfect circulation. Can't wait to see what it's gonna look like with the deck off the back of the house, coming over and cantilevering over the pond right here. That is gonna be really, really awesome. We're here on day 5, is what we're gonna call it. It's actually day 6 of the project, but like I've been saying before, there has been so many obstacles here in Monroe. And now look behind me, we got snow. And we also have a special guest here, Mr. Jason from the maintenance department. You may have seen him on the Wednesday videos. If not, go check out the Wednesday videos. And then of course, my 2 teammates here, Mr. Raphael and Aaron. They never give up. We're in trying to get this project done before the Christmas holidays. But every time it rains and every time it snows like this, it sets us back. So with a little bit of hard work early this morning, the job site is pretty much mainly cleared. We now have Mr. Grinch with us today, Roberto. He's also from the maintenance department. Show him your hat. So one of the first boulders going into the pond is this beautiful spillway stone here for the waterfall. It's roughly about 40 inches tall. It's gonna sit in about 12 inches of water, so we should have a nice 24 to 30 inch waterfall. We got our layer of pea gravel on top of our fabric. That'll help cushion the stone as well as help position the stone in the right spot. Even though it's about 10 degrees below freezing out here, that is not trying to stop us from completing this project. That boulder you see right there is gonna be our left frame boulder, and it's gonna sit right behind that rock, which is slightly above water. That'll be kind of neat as that falls down and splashes. Gives a really nice natural look. When this frame boulder goes in, that slant there, we're hoping to have water pour over that as that matches up to the front of this spillway stone. So Aaron's just double checking our levels here, which is 28 inches down from that backsliding door. While in this freezing cold, we are setting rock by rock. This long boulder here is gonna act as a shelf in the pond. Raphael's strapping it up here on the fork so it's a little bit off the ground, make it a little easier. And that's gonna sit over here to start the back wall. Already got a lot of the intake bay rocked in. That's just mainly soil over there, an extra liner. So right here is the main part that we're gonna be working on today. We're gonna have to stagger the boulders up and backfill with gravel to make sure this is sturdy. But once this is all rocked out and planted, it's gonna look like a beautiful rocky hillside. The waterfall, you can see the levels over there on top of that rock. That is the main spill falling into this pond. Mentioned before that some of it will be coming over the face of that boulder that's slanted. And as we work on this back wall, we're gonna be working on the right side of the frame of this waterfall. A little split over to this side, and then continue that up the hill. Second boulder on this backside wall. Raphael's controlling it into place. We just dug the gravel down over there and put it higher over here. That way when the rock sits in, it sits on slight angle but matches up to the rock to the right. So it's the week before Christmas and we're back here at the job site. It is snow covered with ice. We did put tarps down. We were thinking about pulling out of here last week and we figured, you know, the last 4 days before the holidays, we might as well try to do as much as we can. We're gonna try our best, but it is horrible working conditions, but you gotta put a smile on your face, just go at it. So once again, you can see we have tarps with snow and ice on it. A lot of the pond work was getting done last week and we were moving on beautifully. The bottom of the pond, any of the water that gathered in here, the rainwater, froze solid. In order for us to work on this front edge, we are gonna have to somehow get this ice out of here with a heater while we're working on that upper area over there. Our goal today is to get this all set in here and melt this ice. So the tarp is actually frozen into the pond and probably a lot of this ice will need to be removed to get the large tarp that's covering this area free. But once this is out of here, we'll have dirt just like we see over here. It has been bitter cold out here right before Christmas. This is gonna be the last boulder of the season that we are setting down in the pond, and then a big piece of bluestone will be coming in here in the spring. The homeowner's also gonna have some beautiful decking going on back here. It's gonna overhang the pond right here. It's gonna be spectacular, but we're 3 days away from Christmas. It's time to wrap up the project for the 2022 season, and we'll see you in the spring.